Don't blink, yes you blink. Welcome to the commentary show. This is doing Wopsa having a wonderful day on this Easter. We're gonna be filming some video outside. I want to film the nature corn, so enjoy. There you go. The sun is bright this morning. Holy. Okay, we're good. We're good. So rank 20 with shield. Not so good. Not so good. Not so good. Yeah. And let's see what the damage with this sword. Oops. Wrong app. Let's just see how much we made with the sword. Good. Don't blink, is you blink. Welcome to the commentary show. Sitting Wopsa having a wonderful day on this 20th April 2025. We're starting the day with a tower talk. Because they did a tower Easter event. So when I talk about the tower during 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 Easter, so we have a couple of videos to upload. So we'll be fixing that right away. As you can see, we're gonna be working on this. So videos on Twitch, right? And we'll be putting them on TikTok and on. Perfect. I got till the 19th of May, right? Did they tell me that I have till the 19th of May? I'm at 190 hours out of 800. We started at 700 something. So the tower on this 20th April 2025, it's not going well, guys. It's not. If I'm being completely honest, it's not going well at all. We're in a position where we do feel like we're reaching a standstill, right? Now, ultimately speaking, what I didn't think about playing the tree playthrough together, right? Was they're gonna be dependent on each other. So, for example, right, I don't mind having. I used to not mind having some huge progress on the crown and not so much on the shield, sword and shield. It didn't really bother me because at the end of the day, it was all about like, hey, we're still moving forward. But now all three of them are, kind of like a standstill, like I said. And now it's a great situation because again, it means that we've done a lot of the thing that we were able to do. It's not a pay to win game, right? However, we're spending a lot less than we used to spend. We used to buy the Power Stone pack. We used to buy a lot of stuff. Now we're not buying this as much. We're still buying of course, the and I say of course, we're still buying, of course, the event pass, because right now it's really 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 worth it. So of course it's gonna be something we're aiming towards, but apart from that, we're not. Um, we're not spending anything, which is possibly good. However, it showed yesterday in the tournament we were not able to get lovebirds. Lovebirds. We were not able to get a good ranking in any of the tree. So now, because of the standstill, it's good because we've been playing the tower for so long. We have so many parts, so it's good that we're taking not necessarily a little break from tower. I'm the kind of guy that's gonna take a break when needed, right? So it's really like, hey, guess what? You you cannot do anything about it. For example, right now what we're trying to do is get as far as possible. But at the same time, I'm going to be in a position where I'm going to be starting to stream real soon. Like I said, I'm doing the clips right now because we're doing the clips right now. We're going to be able, when we finish with that, we got 90 hours left, which is about 10 days. Oh, dude, you didn't do it. I didn't record for. Okay, well, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's about 3 minutes, no problem. Um, so yeah, so thank God I checked because the sun blocked the screen. Well, most of the screen, so I can't see. I don't see the tower right now. When I'm gonna be streaming, I'm hitting the tower. So I think what I'm gonna do is either today or tomorrow. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a playthrough of the higher level. Try to get some of these. Because right now we're focusing a lot on the attack and defense. So defense for shield and attack for swords. Right on the crown. Once again. We're in a position where we're focusing on finishing. So I'm going to be looking at ultimate weapon. I'm going to be looking at things that I'm almost done with. So we've talked about that before, right? We did mention that before. My apologies, that was disgusting. But it's tough because the first choices were there. Now we're finally in a bracket where we're making a lot of coins. We're making a shit ton of coins. However, even then, I'm in a position where I'm like, okay, well, we're still making a shit ton of coins, but what am I supposed to do? So, for example, for 6 minutes, the recording stopped. The gameplay stopped, right? Which kind of sucks, but hey, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in post production. I don't see. There you go. Perfect. We're gonna make it easier to figure it out. So, of course, there's. I think it's complex because the tree playthrough was a pleasure. The tree playthrough was still a pleasure. They're a bit less of a pleasure right now. And again, the reasons are simple. We reaching milestone, and even then, it's gonna be crazy because, ultimately speaking, and again, this is Insight is 2020, right? When you watch this, you're like, okay, well, didn't think about that, didn't think about this, didn't think about this and that, right? But there's something that's gonna happen. Eventually speaking, the shield is gonna be as strong as the crown, and the sword is gonna be as strong as the crown. The crown is very strong, right? The problem with the crown is it's a bit of a mixed match. So you're kind of working on everything, but you're not exceeding at something, right? I cannot remember the last time we focus on. I can remember the last time we focused on the module, right? However, we're 1 square away. No, we're at 2 squares. How many did I have? I have 20. We're 1 square away from 21, which is the maximum, right? And once we have the maximum, we'll be able to do anything that we want. Buy a module and shit like that. Now this is gonna be a big help. It's gonna be a huge help. So we already figured out what I want for the module, right? So for shield, it's easy. I want to go for the I want to go for the landmine module and the sword. We're gonna go for something along the lines of more range, because again, the sword has the most range of the 2 playthrough, really whopping 194 and 65. Plus we're increasing it. We're at level 62 of range. 62, which is better than both playthrough. And this is what I'm talking about, the crown, right? But then even then, when they're gonna be at the same level, I'm gonna want all 3 playthrough to be sort of the same level, sort of a similar a story. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough because I don't think it's possible. However, if I don't know if you guys understand that, it's really hard to understand. But even then, we have 1,000 hours on the tower, right? Now, technically speaking, the tower is possibly, and when I say possibly, it is. Well, is it, or is it in Fortnite? They're the 2 games that put the most money in, right? Now, I'm not looking for a ROE, or return of investment, because I think if you think like that, you're not gonna go far, right? Because it's all relative, right? For example, you spend $1,000 in a game, right? The $1,000 was spent over 3-4 years, right? Right? Now the problem with that is 2 or 3 years of that the $1,000, there's an inflation, so it doesn't have the same value. So even if you're making the same money, or you remake your money, it's not the same, because there's less value. So you remake your investment, but the value of the investment got lower. Make sense? Hopefully. So yeah, for the first time in a while, we're at a standstill, and I'm not as too sure as to what we're gonna do with that standstill. In a perfect world, we're fixing it, but then right now we're in this shitty position of we're just gonna be working until we get that 21 and that 21 diamond for the cards, right? Now we're super lucky because every single event has been about getting 80 cards. Now most of the playthrough, I'm next to done. I think I have like maybe 3 events where I'm gonna need to buy cards, and then we'll max them out. But then at the same time, 3 events is a month and a half. They might release a 22nd card, or I don't know, because the last one they released was Nuke. And Nuke is old. Nuke is when they introduced cinematics. So 25. Now it's 26 in the guild. 25 was that. So yeah, 25 was not that great of a update. The guild is still a work in progress. My guild is doing well. Even the Guardian I gotta wait to explore more. For the moment, the Guardian is actually quite bare minimum. So we got 2 chips. I don't know how to be able to increase them. We have a CO chip that I'm not using, which could be having more. See, I think for the AFK would be better, right? For the AFK would be a lot better. Would be a lot better than what we have. But then again, are we willing to take a risk and increasing something that we don't know? No. I have a guild that is able to tell me, hey, this is good or this is not good. So I'll be waiting for them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. For the first time in a while, we're facing like a wall, right? And we have to fix things, and we have to figure out what we're be doing to get out of that wall or get out of this like cage, right? And we'll see. I have to take a couple of days, like at least a week, right, of only playing the tower and playing it for a shit ton of time, trying to figure out what's next, trying to make a to-do list for what's next. What's next for crown, what's next for shield, what's next for sword. I don't know when I'm gonna be doing that, but the second I'm gonna be doing that. But then at the same time, we can plan this. But then by planning this, like for example, we've been playing the game Sword and Shield for 9 months, right? And I know since the second month what module that I want, right? So you're planning in advance, and I think we're planning too far ahead. So we'll see how it goes. If it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Dom Link, it's your boy. Welcome to the Commentary Show. So you want to having a wonderful day on this 20th April 2025. Just wanted to do a quick happy Easter to everybody. I know if there's not the Easter for the Roman calendar, I usually would do a hey, what's it mean for you? Easter. But the reality is, Easter is really. I would always do like, hey, what does this holiday means to you? Easter is super simple actually. It was hunting chocolate eggs. I don't remember if I did good. I don't remember if I didn't do good. It was going to my uncle's house because he had more. He was wealthy. It was meaning the bunny, but even the bunny to me felt weird. Santa Claus, I could kind of believe in it, but even at a young age, my father was like, "Yo, Santa Claus is bullshit. The Tooth Fairy is bullshit, right?" So, a giant bunny didn't make a lot of sense. So I wouldn't say traumatic event, but you know, it's how can I say that without sounding like an asshole? The original shock. Okay, you know what? Oh, perfect, actually perfect. More fear than arm. Am I pissed that I owe $30,000? Absolutely. But we're getting used to the idea that we owe that money versus holy shit, what happened? You know, it's completely different. It is completely different. And the sensation of I was talking about. And it's funny because we were talking about this. I think it was before yesterday, and the 5 stages of grief. So how did I react with the situation? And I was like, okay, well, there's denial, denial, anger, bargaining, lethargy, and acceptance, right? So we went through this. Right now, it's more so acceptance. I'm still pissed because again, it's a stage of grief, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't matter how I react. I have to fix this. Me being pissed is not going to change anything. Me being thinking about it as an injustice is not going to fix anything, right? Tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, but Tuesday, I'm going to go with my fathers to the office and see if I can fix it, but I don't think I can. We're still going to put in the effort to fix it, but I don't think I can. So that being said, when I had my first workout, that was not live. That's where we're going with this. It felt bad, but not to the degree of fuck you, I'll never work out again. Right? The second day, I was still pissed. The second day was very different because the second day we were listening to the electoral debate. The electoral debate for the election that's coming up, the 28th of April, which is in 8 days. So it's different, right? And like, okay, well, this is entertaining. And I felt very complaining, right? But there's complaining. Okay, so wow, we're really diving in today. We're really going deep. I feel like I feel like this complaining, this dissatisfaction, right, was quite normal. Was quite normal in the sense of, well, I'm not happy about the situation. But I was raised in a household where everybody was complaining about the election, about politics, right? So I used a predetermined or a preconceived notion of that's something we have to complain about. So when you're raised about, for example, right, your father is or your mom is very conservative, right? And you tend to be conservative. If you're okay, let's say your dad is more conservative and your mom is more liberal, right? So you're gonna be tending to be like, okay, well, my father is right or my mom is right, and that's why I'm gonna be voting in this direction, right? But in both cases, my mom didn't really talk about politics, and my father, my mom she didn't talk about politics because it was once again more through a case of my father being a big talker, right? Big talker. So when you live with someone that's extremely opinionated, right? Then you're extremely opinionated and extremely talkative. Then not that your opinion don't matter, but you learn that okay, well, this person is gonna talk about their opinion for an hour. I'm gonna talk about it for 10 minutes. Does it mean that my perception of politics is less important? No, it's different. It's just different. There's nothing wrong with that. We have to make sure that we're filming the nature part. So that's that. My mom, she didn't really talk about politics, and I think it's because I want to talk about it so much. Like, okay, I'm done with it, right? Um, so I was raised by complaining about it, right? So the first day, I'm shocked. I don't know how to react. The first day, we're in the middle of the 5 stages of grief, right? Just told you that. Um, Second day, we're complaining about the politics. Now, yesterday was a very, very special day. It was a very, very, very special day. I had a great night. So we went to my father's house. We had an Easter supper. It was delicious. We had a seafood lasagna, which was really good. We had a beautiful dessert. We had a good conversation. I saw uncle and aunts that I didn't see in literal decades, right? So it's really nice. But at the same time, it's kind of sad. Kind of sad because I didn't have anything to complain about. So your perception of, well, my life is shitty, is, or my situation. Let's say my situation, because my life is pretty good. My situation is shitty. Gets you placed with, I just had a good night. Why can I not be happy, right? And then you're working out, and then I think the working out. I don't think I'm unhappy working out, but it's normal to be chasing a feeling of ecstasy, right? Or a sort of orgasmic situation. For example, when I'm talking to you guys, I'm working out. I'm talking to you guys, right? I'm gonna be talking to you guys for an hour, right? And the funniest thing is, it doesn't seem like a lot, but this is basically one of my only interactions for the day, right? So yes, that hour is super beneficial, right? Or in the complete opposite way, which also works for working out. Um, you're being extremely social, so you get used to being social, right? Because you get used to being social, you crave it, right? Versus you forgot what it is to be social, so you don't crave it, right? Your body's gonna be self-defending. So when you're gonna be isolating yourself, your body or your brain or your psyche will create a system of coping. That system of coping is gonna be like, okay, well, I don't like being alone. I need to be surrounded with people. But since I don't have people around me, I'm gonna perceive this situation as it's gonna be alone, right? Versus, well, I was with someone before yesterday, and I don't have anybody today, and it feels weird, right? Your body didn't have the time to adjust to the lack of social. Um, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, you see with the training also, the training for a lot of people, myself included, is a very therapeutic thing. Um, so I think that without you guys, it's more so. With you guys, it's more so we're working out together, we're improving ourselves, improving life, we're having fun. Working out alone, it's more so I'm thinking about it. I'm working on it, and again, the mental state is not that great right now because of the issue with the government. But at the same time, you're like, okay, well, you get in there, and I think it's important to be in there when it's not going well, right? Because I was talking about, oh, you know what? I don't want to ask people for help. I don't want to ask people for help. And yesterday, I was in a position where I was able to be, because I did my talk, I was in a good mood because of the supper in the evening, and I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna have a great workout, but then I couldn't do it, and I felt I was forcing myself to do it, right? And ultimately speaking, forcing myself to do it is actually quite nice, because when you force yourself to do something, you're gonna go to work, right? And you're gonna have this job that you never want to do, right? And your boss gonna be like, yo, I need you to do this. If you used to do things that you don't want to do, it's not as hard as if you're not used to it, right? Because it's part of life. It's part of life. If you understand that it's part of life to be doing something that you don't want to do because you need to do it, versus, well, I'm forcing myself to do it. Why am I forcing myself to do it, right? And then again, it's the same thing for the workout. I'm perceiving this as a social aspect versus perceiving this as a therapeutic aspect, right? That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it, right? And ultimately speaking, since yesterday, the supper elevated so many problems, which was again the social aspect of it. I don't know if you guys understand, but the last couple of days we didn't go live, we didn't post videos, right? We filmed videos, but we didn't post, so didn't have that many social interaction, right? And I did a video where I was talking about, I had to talk with my mom, and it was so hard. it wasn't that hard. It was just my only discussion of that day, right? And because it's only my only discussion of that day, of course it feels rough. Of course, because you're like, well, okay, that's tough. That's really tough, right? That is really tough. Um, because that's my only conversation of the day, and it went horribly, right? So yeah, and then am I afraid of it? Kind of. I'm kind of afraid of it because realizing that I have this need for social aspects. It's not a great thing. It's not a great thing because you're taking that independence and you're throwing it out of the window. Like, well, I'm pretty independent. However, I need people, right? That's not independent. You're being dependent on other people because you're depending on conversation and social aspect of conversation, right? Which is quite normal too. But then again, there's a balance to everything, right? I spent years of my life alone, and I can honestly say that this was not a good thing because it didn't allow me to be social when I need it. Um, I was talking about how I was looking for a relationship, right? Well, I'm at 22 and my experience in relationship isn't that great, right? So ultimately speaking, and this is a perfect example of needing someone and not needing someone. For example, right? You have this person to say, then my best friend. My apologies. My best friend. She had this traumatic event because she was so desperate to find love that she allowed these assholes to come into her life and ruin her life, right? Versus me, who was like, okay, well, you know what? I don't need people, right? But then Celine has way more experience, has a way better understanding of what is a relationship versus what is not a relationship than me, right? Then even though those experiences were traumatic in itself, they're still experience, right? And you kind of like lived in a bunker. You lived, this expression of, for example, there's this famous singer, and like, hey, who's this singer? Who's Taylor Swift, right? You'd be like, you don't know Taylor Swift? Have you been living under a rock? It's the exact same thing, right? So with the lack of social interaction, I'm realizing much further in life that there's actually consequences to it, right? So it's okay to be dependent on people. The idea of being dependent on people is scarier than the actual action, right? Once again, more fear than harm. There's more fear than harm's done, right? But you don't want to be dependent on other people. But then, at the same time, maybe that's what society is. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the simple fact that we live in a society equates to us working together. You look at animals, right? Look at animals, and again, I'm gonna be saying you're gonna be looking at animals. You're gonna be telling me we're not animals. We're fucking humans. Yes, but we're mammals, right? So you look at wolves. Look at dogs. Look at freaking chickens. You look at cows, right? You look at, I don't know about pigs. Um, you look at ants, especially ants. They're all working together. They're all working together. Now, why am I specifying those creature? Well, because so for example, the pig, the cow, the chicken. If you're a farmer, you live with them, right? So their behavior is going to affect your behavior because even though they're animals, there's still social aspect, right? So, and I know this is hard to understand, but at the same time, it isn't. So you have this dog, right? And this dog is such a good dog and super affectionate, right? And you'll be happy because this dog is so affectionate with you, so you feel the love of the dog. So the direct impact of living with the dog, even though the dog doesn't talk, is akin to a social experiment or a social interaction, even though it's a dog, because there is reaction, there's action and reaction, right? So you do have this exchange of emotion, and that makes you more human if you want. Um, one, so it is a dog, but for example, with a farmer, you would live with those, right? Now, I did mention wolf. Wolf are the same family as dog, right? So kind of similars. And ants in this way. Well, ants and bee, right? Ants and bee because ants so I think personally, and again, maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe I'm super wrong. I'm possibly extremely wrong. But in my mind, ants are possibly the insect or the animal or the living being with this, except for humans, they're kind of the next one and called colonies, right? So, for example, you're gonna have colonies of 1,000 ants. Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to my controversial. I thought it was gonna be. You weren't supposed to see me playing with my hair. Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to the commentary show. Because I'm on this 20th April 2005, or as they say in good French, Joyeux Pâques. Happy Easter. To all my lovely people over here and over there also. Up here, I don't know how many people are seeing this video up here, and down here for sure. Today we're doing a special video. We're doing a video which is my reaction to Content Cop, the one that was on H Street. Now, it's a very specific video. It's a very, very, very hard video to do. Because usually you would see me react to the video in itself. However, I chose to do like a sort of recap, but a sort of recap and a afterthought, if you will. Afterthought is possibly a super good word. The reason as to why we're doing this so differently is because I don't know iDubbbz. I don't know Ian. I never watched Content Cop because when it was really popular, I didn't have Wi-Fi, and because I didn't have Wi-Fi, the very small amount of time that I had Wi-Fi, I was watching AGP, or my favorite show, right? So Content Cop wasn't part of it, and then I got really into iDubbbz when I saw the documentary with Sam Hyde, because again, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. I was listening to a lot of Papagas at that time, so he put me on the map of Sam Hyde. I don't know who he was. So I was listening to Sam Hyde, and I'm gonna say, I do like Sam Hyde. A lot of people can get mad at that, but I do like Sam Hyde. A free spirit, somebody that talks what he wants, somebody that's opinionated, somebody that makes fucked up jokes, somebody that's probably not a great person to be around with, but he is himself. I'm gonna applaud that, right? This like fish things is off the hook. And then he made fun of Ian. And then that was my first interaction with Ian. My first interaction, my first perception, my first impression of Ian. And it was extremely petty from him because, oh, well, you wronged me in the past, and now I wrong you now. But you didn't really wrong me because Sam Hyde made fun of you. You know? Now, Sam Hyde didn't make... That's the difference. That's the difference. I feel like in this one, Ian came after Sam Hyde for personal reason, and Sam Hyde was just trying to give a show. So it's different, right? The intention behind it were pure versus revenge, vendetta. And I know with a name like In Vendetta, you'd expect me to be like, yes, vendetta, but no. So yeah, that was my first impression of Ian. Didn't make me want to watch a Content Cop. Again, nothing against Ian, but still. Then I'm a fanatic of... Fanatic is a big word. I'm super into the Snortex with DSP. It's my favorite lolcow. It's my favorite... I wouldn't say content creator, but it's my favorite universe for sure. Because I do like DSP, but I do like the detractors of DSP. Where am I going with this? Well, they introduced me to Kino Casino, and Kino Casino were reviewing iDubbbz, and I was like, holy shit, I don't know much about him. Let's watch a review. And they were picking up and his girlfriend Anissa, and the thing they were doing, and it wasn't cool. So I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I like this guy. And then we had the Ian and Ethan saga. Now this is actually quite special. This is quite special because in my opinion, I would have not watched that. Not because I don't think it's great, and because I don't think it is, but the reality is I got some really bad news a couple of days ago. We were kind of depressed. We made less content, which filmed less, which equate to us consuming more content, which means we filmed more, right? Makes sense? I hope so. So yeah, so by doing that, I was like, okay, you know what? That's actually pretty cool. Let's watch this. This is going viral right now. Let's watch it. And it felt really, really weird because I'm not a big fan of H3. So I listened to H3 a little bit over the years. Then I got really into H3 with the Frenemy. There's a bunch of Frenemy moments that I really... There's a bunch of H3 moments that I really like. Like their interview with Big Ed, I love that. There's a lot of moments that they did that I really enjoy, but I never found myself craving for more. So for example, you're gonna have show that every time that they release an episode, you're gonna watch it, right? I don't find myself H3. If I'm watching it, I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be fun. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. So, for example, we watched a lot of Frenemies because it's so good. But we didn't watch more than one episode of Leftover because again, it was different, right? So that being said, I'm not super partial over here, but I do like H3H3 a little bit more, right? Oh, I forgot that we have to upload a lot of videos. Oopsies. So I come in, and this is the problem. I don't know if my first perception of Ian influenced me to think what I was thinking, right? Or we just. I have to check out that out because I have to make sure that this is not Deadpool. If it is Deadpool, we're fucked. Okay, so checks. Give me a sec, guys. I'll be right back. Good. Perfect. We're moving on. So a lot of it. I wouldn't say I go as far as saying half of it, but a lot of it felt like it was personal. It felt like it was Ian's against Ethan, and in my understanding, but again, I don't have a general. I do have a very general understanding of Comic Cop. Is going after people for the content, right? Not the person itself. So with Ethan, it felt a little bit more. It felt a little bit more personal, right? Now, again, I don't have a blueprint of what Comic Cup was, so I don't know. But I know people liked it a lot, and I watched it, and I'm like, dude, do I think that Ethan is the perfect person? No, I think that he has a lot of flaw, absolutely, but you kind of are going after him, right? And the problem I have with that is that I didn't see or I didn't hear. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I missed out on a lot of things. I don't know, but I didn't really see a lot of beef between those two. So it felt a bit it felt a little bit free. It felt a little bit like, hey, this is personal business. And ultimately speaking, it didn't. I think the perception behind it is the problem that I have with the content cop. I think that's a big problem that I have. I don't care if you have beef with someone, and we know that we love the beef, right? We love the beef, which is Wendy. Where's the beef, right? And to me, it's actually super nice. It's super nice because I love things like TikTok. So it's basically a modern day gladiator, right? But the thing that I thought was on TikTok, it's mutual. You're saying this, you're saying that, you're saying this, you're saying that. It felt like a sneak attack, and a sneak attack. There's the word sneak, and I don't think sneak is a positive thing to say, right? So it really felt like, you know what? I'm gonna put in so hard. And what I didn't like about that, and again, we're all working in a spirit of fairness. See, catch that. We're all working in a spirit of fairness. This guy I just had time to do a hit piece on someone, and then you have Ethan who was supposed to answer. And of course, you're not gonna have the best answer, right? But I just felt like it was free. And after a while, I am gonna say though, I am gonna say that he was against the content, right? And I did like that. So for example, the button, the goblin mode. Holy shit, guys! Oh, you missed it. The bird was so close to us, so close. The some of the things that he said, I agree with, for the content, but attacking the person by himself, I didn't really feel like it. However, my issue with Ethan, it's 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 complex because I love Hila. I'm gonna say Hela. I love Hila. I think she stood with her man for so long, and I think that's a pretty good thing. You're gonna see a lot of those couples that are internet couples are not gonna last. They've been lasting, and they've been lasting through controversy, right? Which is, I believe, is a huge props. It did feel a little bit like the reaction of Ethan was Hila, but then again, you would have want a kind of one-on-one Ethan versus Ian, But you got Hila, and then at first you're like, oh fuck, it doesn't seem fair. But then you're in a position where you're like, well, Ian did do a sneak attack, right? And if he's attacking H3, then it's as much Ethan as it is Hila. Yes, you're seeing Ethan on the camera, but behind the scene, we know that Hila's in charge, right? You know that she's in charge, so she's basically the boss, right? She's behind the scene and everything. Not everybody is talented in front of the screen, and not everybody is talented and behind the scene. So they do a good team with that. So H3 representing both of them, it is only normal that she's as involved as she was, right? So my reaction is not great, not great. Could have been better, could have been worse, but yeah. So anyway, we're gonna end it here. I love you, that you matter. I'll see you guys very soon. Take it easy. Peace. Okay, let's go. You're gonna charge a little bit.